Season 1 Reloaded is quickly coming to an end, and with Season 2 right around the corner, there's still time to set new personal records, drop that nuke, and I'm here to help you achieve just that. So without further ado, here are the best meta long-range weapons for Season 1 Reloaded. Alright, starting it off first, here's our first weapon, the PULEMYOT 762. Now, why the PULEMYOT? The PULEMYOT has a very controllable recoil, and with this conversion kit that you do put on the PULEMYOT, it turns this LMG into a very mobile weapon. It also has very consistent damage. Now, let's go over to the attachments and show you exactly how to build this up. First off, we're going to put the conversion kit on. This is going to help us out with some mobility and handling, increasing our rate of fire, helping us out with hipfire and tac stance spread, as well as ADS. Just that attachment alone is going to make this gun a lot more mobile. Next up, we're going to go over to the stock, and we're going to put on the Commando D15 stock for increased gun kick control, fire and aim stability, and recoil control. As you can see here, it helps us out a ton with all of the recoil on this weapon. Next up, again, it's all preference, but I highly recommend the Corio Eagle's Eye. Everyone's running it because it is such a clean sight. And then over to the barrel, we have the Jack Annihilator long barrel, helping us out some bullet velocity and range. We're going to go into details here. As you can see, 34% into damage range, as well as 17.9, almost 18% extra bullet velocity on this barrel. And then to finish it off, we're going to go over to the muzzle. Now, I highly recommend the Sonic Suppressor because it doesn't kill your ADS speed a ton, because it still increases the bullet velocity and damage range without those penalties. As you can see, 12% into bullet velocity, and you're not really hurting your ADS speed at all. But if you are having trouble with a little bit of recoil, you could definitely put on the VT Spirit Fire Suppressor as well. This is also going to help us out with some recoil control. Again, you're going to be undetectable by radar because it is a suppressor, along with helping us out with bullet velocity and damage range. And then over to the details here, again, 5%, 7.5% bullet velocity, helping us out with some recoil, but again, it's going to kill your ADS speed. And because this is an LMG, the ADS speed is already slow, so putting that Sonic Suppressor on helps out a little bit. But again, if you're having trouble with the recoil on this weapon, definitely throw on the VT7 Spirit Fire. That is the full build for the PULEMYOT 762. Next up, we have the TAQ Eradicator. Now, this weapon has little to no recoil. It has a very fast fire rate at the start. If you hit those few shots at the very start of your mag, you're going to absolutely shred someone. And then another benefit to this weapon is it has such a clean iron sight. You could actually use another attachment, which helps us out even more with the recoil to this weapon. We're going to start from the back here. We're going to start from the stock. Started off with the TAQ core stock, helping us out with some gun kick control, fire aiming stability, as well as recoil control. 23% into gun kick, 5% into both recoils. And then next up, we're going to go over to the barrel. This is going to be the Conquer 70 long barrel, helping us out with some aiming idle sway, as well as bullet velocity and range. Great buffs over to the damage range, as well as bullet velocity. Over to the muzzle. Now, you could use two muzzles on this weapon. I highly recommend, if you want to be undetectable by radar, you want to be a little bit more stealthy, the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor is great because it does reduce recoil, helps with bullet velocity and damage range. Again, you're going to be undetectable by radar. Nice 5%, 7.5%, and then help us out with the recoil again. Or if you do want a little bit extra recoil control, again, this gun isn't crazy for recoil, but once you get past that little burst at the very start, it does kind of start getting out of hand. So if you want more help with that and you don't really care about the radar, throw on the Jack BFB. They just put this in not long ago. This is a brand new muzzle, and this is going to help us out with gun kick control, vertical recoil, and horizontal recoil. This thing eliminates all recoil for this weapon. Look at this, 60% more recoil gun kick control, as well as 20% horizontal recoil control, and another 40% into vertical recoil control. Like, it is insane. So either the Jack BFB or the VT7 Spirit Fire, it's all up to you. If you want to be stealthy, this. If you want more recoil control, the Jack BFB. Next up, we're going to go to underbarrel. This is the Bruin Heavy Support Grip. This is going to help us out with gun kick control, aim and idle sway, horizontal recoil control, as well as fire and aiming stability. This is one of the most used underbarrel because it helps us out with the recoil gun kick. It also helps us out with a ton of horizontal recoil. And then down low, we're going to put on high grain rounds for ammunition, helping us out with some bullet velocity and damage range. Again, 15% more range, 15% more bullet velocity. If you are kind of struggling with this weapon in recoil, you could take off the high grain and you could actually go to the rear grip and throw on the FSS combat grip. That's also going to help us out with some fire and aim stability, gun kick control, and recoil control. There you guys have it. This is the most popular streamer and pro setup for the TAQ Eradicator. And then here we have the SVA 545. This thing just got buffed in the most recent patch. It is one of my favorite ARs at the moment because it is great in fully auto as well as semi-auto. The semi-auto gives you that nice little 2 burst. It is a blast to use, absolutely slams people long to medium range. Again, it is a very fast firing weapon, so close range it also gets the job done. Starting it off first, optic, Corio Eagle's Eye, my highly preferred optic. Barrel is going to be the SVT Precision Barrel, helping us out with aiming idle sway, bullet velocity and range, gun kick, and recoil control. We have 12.5% into damage range, 15% more bullet velocity, as well as 4% into gun kick control, 7.5 into horizontal and vertical recoil control. Next up, you could use the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor if you are struggling with recoil. Again, helping us out with recoil, bullet velocity, damage range, or if you're using it in semi-auto and you notice that there's not much recoil, you could throw on the sonic suppressor. That is mostly what I use because I'm not too worried about the recoil. So if you're using fully auto, VT7 Spirit Fire is great, but if you're using semi-auto, throw on the sonic suppressor. Next up, we're looking to eliminate all of that horizontal recoil on this weapon. So we're gonna go with the Bruin Heavy Support Grip, helping us out with gun kick control, aim and idle sway, horizontal recoil, fire and aim stability, and then over to more details, helping us out 10.3 into recoil gun kick control, as well as 12% into horizontal recoil control. Again, it's taking a little bit of that vertical recoil control away, but we can definitely handle that on this weapon. And then to finish it off, we have the 60 round mag. You can get away with the 45 in solos and duos, but highly recommend the 60 round mag for trios and quads. Next up, we have the Ram 7. Now, this is a very aggressive AR. It's great at long range, great at medium range, and also gets the job done at close range. It has very low recoil, great mobility. Some people love it, some people hate it. Another perk to this weapon is it has a great iron sight. So again, we could have another attachment helping us out with some recoil. Starting it off first, we have the stock, the HVS 3.4 pad, helping us out with gun kick control as well as recoil control. As you can see here, helping us out 20% more into recoil gun kick control, 8% into horizontal and vertical recoil control as well. Next up, over to the barrel, we have the Cronin Headwood long barrel, helping us out with bullet velocity, a ton, and damage range. Also, aim and idle sway and fire aim stability. Over to the details, we have 21.3 into both ranges, as well as increasing 25% of our bullet velocity. Now for the muzzle, we have two options. The JAK BFB. Now the JAK BFB is a very casual friendly muzzle because it takes away like all of your recoil on your weapon. Again, 60% into recoil gun kick control, 20% into horizontal, and 40% into vertical. But if you are a more skilled player and would like to try out something that doesn't have such negatives to it, like the increased ADS speed, being larger on the map, all that stuff, Case's Break is also insane. This gun doesn't have a lot of vertical recoil, so if you can just control the vertical and throw this on, it's only going to decrease your ADS speed by 5% instead of the 10.1%, and all you have to do is control vertical because there is zero horizontal and this thing's a beamer. But for the average casual player, the JAK BFB gets the job done. Next up, everyone's favorite underbarrel right now is the Bruin Heavy Support Grip, helping us out with gun kick control, aim and idle sway, horizontal recoil control, as well as fire and aim stability. Again, 11% into recoil gun kick control, 12% into horizontal recoil control. It's gonna hurt your vertical a little bit, but again, you should be able to control that vertical. And then down low, this gun is nothing without the 60 round drum. It has such a fast fire rate, so if you are in trios and quads, I highly prefer the 60. But if you are using this as like a sniper support or something, or you're in solos or duos, the 40 round mag could get the job done, but I still highly recommend the 60. There you have it, one of the most aggressive ARs you could use at the moment, the Ram 7. Next up, we have another LMG, the DG58 LSW. Now, this gun has no recoil. It is very easy to use, and it has very consistent damage around medium range. Overall, this is a very beginner friendly weapon. Let's start it off with the stock. The stock is the recoil reduction butt plate. It's gonna help us out with some gun kick control, recoil control. We can go into detailed stats here, 18.7 into recoil gun kick control, 12% for vertical and horizontal. Optic, again, all preference, but the Corio Eagle's Eye is by far my favorite. The barrel is the Woody long barrel, helping us out with some aim and idle sway, bullet velocity and range, recoil control, and gun kick control. Going into more details, 15% more damage range on both minimum and effective damage range, as well as 18% into bullet velocity, helping us out a lot in the recoil control category. Next up, we have the muzzle, which is the VT7 Spirit Fire Suppressor, helping us out with some recoil, bullet velocity, and damage range, as well as being undetectable by radar. Taking a look here, we have 5% over in the damage range, as well as 7.5 in the bullet velocity. Over to recoil control, we have 7.1 for horizontal and vertical recoil control. And then down to underbarrel, again, everyone's favorite, Bruin Heavy Support Grip, helping us out with gun kick control, aim and idle sway, horizontal recoil, fire aim stability. And then over into more details, we have 11% into recoil gun kick control, as well as helping us out with horizontal. This gun also has a little bit of vertical recoil, but you should be able to handle it for the most part. There you have it, another great LMG. If you are using this as your primary for your longer range, you'll be super happy with this build and this weapon. There you guys have it. That is the top meta weapons at the moment for long range in Season 1 Reloaded. Season 1 Reloaded has a lot of great weapons, and as you guys can see, there is a ton to choose from at the moment. You really just got to figure out what you enjoy. But so far, really enjoying Warzone 3 because there is such a variety in weapons to use. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys enjoy my builds. If you enjoy anything like that, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that noti bell to be notified when I do upload next, and I will see you guys over in the next video.